Hi everyone, this is Sandy Reese with StampinCrew.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thanks for joining me for another live video tutorial today. We have a great little Christmas project, a 3D treat holder. Before I get started, I just want to remind you to please click subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. And with every order that you place, or with an order you place during the month of at least $50 or more before tax and shipping, I'll send you a kit of our of that month's card class projects. I've been working this morning downstairs, and so I'm not I don't have my brain in video mode yet. So just give me a minute and my brain will catch up to what my hands are doing. Okay, so we are going to make this cute little treat holder. Isn't that cute? Fits 3 of the little Ghirardelli snowmen. And I can take my paper down. Let me tape that down so it doesn't slide all over the place. This morning I had to make we have our team party tomorrow, and I was doing deviled eggs, and so I was boiling eggs this morning and making candied citrus peel because I'm going to be making some Stollen, which is German bread that needed candied citrus peel. So I have been peeling oranges and lemons all morning and boiling them, and then after I finish the video, I've got to go down and candy them. So that's what I've been doing this morning. Okay, so I am using the Jar of Joy stamp set because I need a little snowman because we have snowman candies. And I use the stylish shape dies just to cut out a little circle. You could also use a punch if you have one. This one is about 1 3/4 inch. And then I'm using for my cardstock cloud cover, and here's a template of what I've done. It's 4.5 by 5, so you can get, I think you can get 2 of these out of a piece of cardstock. If you have yeah, I would do 2 out of a piece. You could get 4 out of a 12 by 12, but the heavier cardstock is better. So I've scored it on the 5-inch side at 1/2 and 4.5, and then on the 4.5-inch side, I scored at 1 1/4 and 1 3/4. All right, so what I'm going to do, I like to look at the bumpy side when I'm cutting. I'm going to cut on this little tab right here, and then I'm just going to trim the corners off of that tab and do the same thing on this side. And when I'm doing the tabs, I like to cut on the outside of that score line, just cutting off that bumpy piece, okay? Then we're going to fold and crease on the score lines. I like to cut before I fold and crease. The paper just cuts a little easier before you bend it. All right, now we are going to take these little tabs, fold them in, and we're going to put just a little bit of liquid glue. Whoop, that's too much. I don't want too much that'll ooze out. And I'm going to bring up the larger panel like that, so it's standing up straight, and glue those tabs to the inside of the sides, right like that. So you can see, you can do it, bring up either side, but I want to make sure that they're going to be flat and stand up straight. So I want to make sure the bottom is flat. Just hold them for a second to set, and that should be good. Now I'm going to take these the smaller panel here and put glue on the tabs, and then these are going to fold up and glue to the outside of the longer sides. Okay, now I want to make sure that I'm holding it flat when I'm holding it to dry so that it stands up straight. If you do it without setting it down, it's very easy to get off, so it's not going to stand up. So use your tabletop. Okay, Now what I want, for some reason, this side's a little wonky. I don't know what happened there. I want these, oh, you know what? When I was scoring, it just jumped the track. Have you ever had that happen when you're using the score tool and it jumps the track? We're going to ignore that though. So what I want to do is just trim the corner right here, just to give it a little more interesting side. So I'm cutting from this corner down to right here. I'm just doing it with this scissors. It's not very long, so it's real easy to just trim that off just like that. So it has a little fun side to it. All right, now I'm going to glue a little piece of designer series paper. Say that 3 times fast. This is from the Celebratory Sips designer paper. And the back of it is cloud cover with these stars, and I have been saving this paper all year to use on holiday projects. So I've done on a couple. Ignore this wonky side because it jumped the track when I was scoring it. This is my sample, so you can see. Normally, if you score it without jumping the track, it's just going to be straight. But you know, accidents happen, and most people aren't even going to notice that. All right, so we're going to do some stamping here. First, we're going to stamp our snowman. And I think this little snowman is so cute. We're going to put him right here on that circle. That's all we're doing. We're going through a few colors, 1 stamp each. Okay, now we're going to take some real red. And this is an image. It's a scarf and a hat band. So if you look at this, there's a straight line for the hat band, and then you can see the little scarf. And on the snowman, the hat's on top, the scarf's on the bottom. So that's the way you want to hold your stamp. And then you want to just line it up with that blank space on his hat, and then the scarf will be right where it needs to be. Already spaced perfectly. Okay, next thing we're going to stamp, I've got a cloud cover ink pad. This is still available. We did not, I'm just going to stamp some snow around our snowman. Now this is on the clearance rack because the color is not perfect. And it will fade, or it changes over time a little bit, but I have really not found a huge problem with it. So I just use it. But you can still purchase those if you don't have it. If you don't want to, you can use a marker or whatever color you have. Okay, now I'm using Blueberry Bushel, and that's to kind of tie in the color of this, that little snowman candy. And then I'm just going to do Sending Cheer. And you know, I'm going to show you this. The Sending Cheer is not one of our sentiments, but we have Sending a Jar Full of Cheer. So I cut off, and I do this a lot. I cut off the sending and I cut off the cheer, and I put them together. So, so that it just makes one word. And I use this in class. Hold on, let's try that again. A little bit low, we'll make that work. And sometimes it's just easier to do that if we're doing class. And then if I want the whole word, I'll just put it back together again on the block. Okay, I'm going to trim that just like that. And I trim off a little bit. So I just use like kind of a long scrap of 1/2 inch white cardstock. I always have a bunch of those left over in my scrap drawer. And I'm going to pop this up right in the middle, Sending Cheer. And then we're going to do a little bit more to our snowman. I'm going to color his nose a little pumpkin pie marker. Okay, and then use my light cloud cover blends and just do a little bit of highlighting, kind of shading or shadows on our snowman. That's it. And a little wink of Stella. I want to be careful not to get it on the red or the orange because I don't want it to bleed. I'm just going to do a little snow down here, snow on the snowman. If you wanted to do little dots of wink of Stella, you could. That's more work than I want to do though, so I'm not going to mess with that. And then I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals right here. And I don't want this to go past the bottom of my box where it's not going to stand up. So I'm going to put a little glue right here too. I'm going to put my thumb here so I make sure I don't go too far down. And adhere that, stick it to the glue, and insert our candies. We got one that's gold, we've got a red one, and the blue one. And that is our cute little 3D project. If you wanted to add some embellishments, you could, but really there's not a lot of room. So I did not even do that because the candies are shiny themselves. So that's our project today. I hope you enjoyed it. It stands up. You can use this as a table favor. Write the person's name here instead of sending chair, and just set one at each of their spots for Christmas dinner, or for, you know, lunch, or Christmas breakfast would be fun too if you like to set the table for that. So I hope you enjoyed our project today, and I think that's it. I'm trying to think if there's anything going else. We do have a sale on our prepaid Paper Pumpkin subscriptions. You can prepay for 3, 6, or 12 months. And it's up to, we do have a big sale. It's Cyber Monday sale that's going on through the 9th. So make sure to check that out. I'll post a link below in the video on the YouTube channel so you can see if that's something you're interested in. I personally love the Paper Pumpkin kits. And I get them every month. I put them together. I send out a bonus project to everybody who purchases Paper Pumpkin through me. So you do get an extra little bonus along with the savings on these prepaid subscriptions. They're also great for Christmas gifts. A 3-month subscription is probably, you know, what you might spend. And if you have someone who loves to craft, a 3-month crafting experience is an excellent gift. I would love that. All right. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Let's see who we have on real quick before we sign. Oh, hi, Lori and Tammy. Hi, ladies. Hope everybody's having a good day. We're having a little bit of rain mixed with snow. I noticed when I went out a little while ago. So stay warm. Don't drive on slippery roads, and we will see you next time. All right. Bye, everyone.